6 o'clock, so we can start. Should we close the door?
Yeah.
We need to determine we have a quorum, and we do. And the first order of business that we need to do is we need to, because of papers that need to be signed tonight, we need, and we need to appoint an acting chair and an acting secretary. Because I can't as secretary sign. Yeah, anyway, so.
Well, I move that we appoint Judy.
Okay.
to
Second,
chair.
I'll second that.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
I'll move that we appoint Electra as acting secretary.
Second.
Oh,
all in favor?
aye.
Aye, congratulations. You get to sign some things at the end, okay.
You know how to take shortcuts, right?
Let's see, were there any changes to the minutes from the last meeting, or is there approval for it?
I have no changes.
No changes, okay.
I move we approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
I'll second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, it's been approved. Well, public comment on items not on the agenda. We don't have anybody here. Is there anybody on,
Anybody looking in the waiting room?
anybody in the waiting room? Hi, I'm at, nobody's coming, okay. So nobody here for public comments. Should we go to number 4, items for discussion and action. We have the Community Foundation Airport fundraising. We talked about it a lot last time, had somebody here who could answer our questions. Shall we just, anything else before we consider the resolution?
So do we have the use statements and the paperwork ready?
Okay. Should we consider the resolution establishing the Iowa City Municipal Airport Charitable Giving Fund?
Yes,
Okay.
Is
Now,
that-
I don't have the thing in front of me, so-
we don't have to read. we
Is
don't
that
have
a
to read the whole
motion?
thing. Yeah, he said we only have to read this part.
Oh, okay, yeah, so
So that was it.
So, okay.
Okay, so we've considered the resolution, so now
I'll move
move to
Move to
accept.
approve the
to
resolution.
approve the resolution establishing the Iowa City
Okay.
Municipal Charitable Giving Fund.
Okay,
I
so
second.
move to approve and second. Now, do we need to do
That's a roll call.
roll call?
Yes.
Okay, so you do the roll call for us? Or I do?
I can do that. Bishop,
Aye.
Claire,
Aye.
Lawrence, absent, Orozco,
Aye.
full.
Aye.
Okay.
So that one passed. Okay. Right,
Yep, we're good.
now, move on to the
Were there-
airport.
I mean, before we leave the topic, were there any other questions on the fund? We'll get the paperwork from the foundation and get everything signed,
It
and
seems like just a wonderful thing for us.
Yeah,
Should have named it.
thanks to Jennifer for doing a lot of the legwork.
Yes, yes.
well, that helps, yes. Okay, so we've got that started, then go on to airport signage, wayfinding, anything?
I don't have anything new on this. John and the fuel team have given me quite a few estimates on what it would take for the bigger pieces in terms of the monument sign and the building sign. We're going to wrap that up into the state grant application. You'll see that next month. We did give them the go ahead to do the vinyl, but I'm not sure where that's at.
Okay.
So it's for the doors, because that was, I think it was like $800, which the commission was all in favor of having that done as quickly as possible. So that's kind of where that's at, but expect to probably get a much better update and kind of a timeline for the rest of it at the next meeting with the grant application information.
Okay. How about the runway 725 Rehab East End? Where are we?
The east end and the threshold relocation are both kind of at the same spot. We are Now that the aviation conference is behind us, we're getting the contractors together for a pre-construction meeting so that we can talk schedule and get that information put together so we can give it to Jet Air and the folks that use the airport on a more continual basis. Let them know when the closures are expected to happen, that kind of situation. So that's where that's at. And we don't have that date set yet, but it's in progress.
Okay. How about the South T hangar infrastructure?
We are beginning the bid process. So,
Okay, so now we go into our next resolution.
yep.
Discussion before we start that.
I don't have anything. Bolton and Mink gave us the plans and specs. So, yep. There's that one's for the other books for the doors.
Okay. Yeah.
And you'll have digital copies in the packet next month
Okay.
when we have the public hearing and kind of talk about it as a broader.
Okay, so we need to, let's see, resolution. We need to set a resolution setting a public hearing on May 12th, 2022 for the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the construction of the South Taxiway and Apron Project, and directing city clerk to publish notices of said hearing and directing the chairperson to place said plans on file for public inspection. So,
I second that.
okay. Then we need to do a roll call.
Yes.
I'll let you go through the list.
Okay, who do I start with? Let's go with Full.
Aye.
Orozco.
Aye.
Lawrence is absent. Claire? Is that an aye? I didn't hear you.
Unmuted.
Just nod your head. Aye.
I can't hear you, but I can see you. Ann Bishop.
Aye.
Okay.
So that passed. Okay, so we go on to the next one, which is the FAA Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. Road grant
That is
program.
going to be the same process. Public hearing set for May 12th. Again, we have the hard copies of the plans and specs for inspection. We'll get a digital copy of those in the packet next month too.
So that's the hangar. That's gonna be those funds. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So I move that we adopt a resolution setting a public hearing on May 12th, 2022 for the plan specification form of contract, estimate of cost for the construction of hangar A door replacement phase 1 project, and directing the city clerk to publish notices of said hearing, and directing the chairperson to place said plans on file for public inspection.
Second. All in favor? Or we have
Nope,
to-
roll call again.
Roll call again.
All right,
Okay.
let's see. Claire?
Was not-
That was I. Lawrence is absent. Orozco?
Aye.
Full.
Aye.
Bishop?
Aye.
Lawrence? Absent.
So that would be hangar A. So. I'm just looking through these.
You're doing the market stuff.
Let's see, so now go on to the Iowa DOT FY23 grant application.
You skipped the bipartisan bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I
That's
started
okay.
into that one. Yes.
I don't have much of an update.
Infrastructure bill.
FAA did a little bit of a presentation on the bill at the aviation conference. Not a lot of new information. We're still kind of waiting for Washington FAA to put out guidelines and use, but I did have conversations with our regional folks about the desire to use it for solar panels or solar panel project and the terminal study. Both of those seem to be received pretty well. So once FAA puts out some guidance and our regional folks are ready to work on those grants, we're kind of, that's where we're at.
That sounds
So
great.
they're waiting. Okay. Be nice if we can get some of that done. Are we ready for airport operations then?
The DOT grant first. That is coming
That's
next
part of
month.
the grant, okay.
Not a lot of information for you other than just to let you know that the window's kind of open for projects. The things I have right now on the slate for applications, and if you want to do something else, you're obviously welcome to do that. The applications themselves are due at the end of May, so we'll have another meeting before the due date. But we'll have the hopefully second and final phase of the Hangar 8 doors. And we have the wayfinding and terminal building updates. So we've got the bubble, I'll call it the bubble brick for lack of better terminology. The glass brick at the old baggage claim door. And there might be a couple of terminal windows in there that I'm currently exploring. But then the wayfinding, that'll be a project. And I'm also considering the front end of our fuel farm to replace the cabinets and the motors that run all of that stuff because they're also 30 years old.
If it's Hangar 8, the first resolution then talks about phase 1. Would this be phase 2 then to finish off?
This would be
Hangar 8?
phase 2.
Okay,
When it was initially planned, because of the caps in the
Yeah.
program, we figured it'd take 2 or 3 phases.
right.
The one good piece of information with this new application is the cap went from $75,000 for a rehab project to, I think it's $125,000 for a
So you
rehab
can
project.
finish off.
So I hope, and a lot of it will be dictated by the kind of bids we get with the project we're trying to do this year. I hope we can finish off the rest of it in a single project, but we'll keep going after money until it's done.
And if we got that, what kind of leeway, would we know next fall if we got it or?
So the grant applications are due at the end of May. Typically in July or August is when the state, the Aviation Bureau, they've changed their names a couple of times, sorry. The state office, the aviation office will take the plan to the Transportation Commission. Once we see that list, we'll have an idea of whether or not we're on it. In the 17 years I've been doing this, I've never seen the Transportation Commission change the list once it's out there. They have delayed a project because there were some comments, but that ultimately went forward. And that dealt with the Marion Airport a few years ago when they were kind of in the process of the city selling it to parts of it to private entities for development.
So by next fall, we would know whether we could do all of the hangars at the same time,
Next fall, we should have a pretty good idea.
which will help us with the art project of knowing whether we could do it all.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. Now go to airport operation. Management, criminal.
City engineering is working on the plans. I saw a quick draft of the revised layout, and they do have everything evenly dispersed, as was some of the comments from last month in terms of around the circles. So I think you're just working on finishing that up so they can take it out to bid and or get quotes on it, because it's not quite a $70,000 project. So it's not something we have to do a formal bid process on. But that's where that's at. So hopefully I can get you a schedule in the next month to know when things are actually going to happen. Operations and commission handbook. I haven't had much opportunity to work on that. I've got a lot of stuff mentally in my head, but I will be putting together some information there and also have that on my calendar for hopefully a next month. Should at least get a rough idea of what's going to be in there, or at least locations of where things are, because I don't know that we necessarily need to duplicate everything that's out there, but knowing where things are is probably
That would be helpful.
the important piece of it. So like all of the city policies, how to find them, and but we'll be working through that. And then this last one, Judy, is yours. You asked for the display jet to be on the agenda.
Well, we've looked into a lot of it. I talked to Johnson County veterans who knew nothing about any of it. The last that we heard from Scott, he did a really nice timeline following where it is at this point. It doesn't look like, it looks like we could check with the government, the Air Force, about what to do with it. It looks like we won't have any trouble with anybody wanting to claim it at this point. So I think we're at the point now where we need to talk to the Air Force about what they want to do with it. It's not,
Is it Air Force property?
it's Air Force property.
Yeah.
It is, okay.
It's Air Force property. It's not connected to, like we thought it was, what was it, the Ohio Museum, and it's not connected to an official museum. It's not connected to the veterans around here. So but it's property of the Air Force, so they're the ones who need to figure out where they want it. So we could look into that. That's kind of where we are. Yeah, that would be it. So at this point, we talked about putting another piece of artwork in that area, having it be more of a obvious airport type thing rather than a military plane sitting there or parts of a military plane. So we're kind of,
So something more like what they have in Cedar Rapids, so real
something,
art.
real art, yes.
Uh-huh.
We looked at a couple different types of art. And I think we also brought it up with the city for the art ideas, and they liked some of the ideas too. So I think at this point, we could probably look at getting it returned to the Air Force. Is that kind of where you're thinking?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Yes,
we
we
Now
got
we
you now.
can, yes.
Okay, I had to switch my microphones. Yeah, kind of what I'm thinking is that if we do this terminal study, that maybe we combine the the disposition and replacement of whatever our artwork is up front, kind of with that study. I know that the Public Arts Commission is very interested in the ideas for that space. There are various artists who could be engaged to develop something that would commemorate both the kind of the veterans aspect of it, as well as the other broader aspects of Iowa City and the airport. So kind of where I'm at, Judy, I think maybe the next step would be to contact the Air Force, talk to them about if we were to give it back, what would be involved. Because I think in the lease, we would bear all of the costs of removing and transporting it back, which could get expensive. But they may just say, no, that's okay. You guys can dispose of it or something like that. We'll see what happens. But I think in the interim, we ought to consider this as a part of whatever broader study we do with the terminal plan if we get that funded. Does anyone have any other ideas?
As far as where we got this from way back then?
We have a point of contact for the museum
Okay.
program that
Okay, good.
deals with this. So
Yeah, how we came into possession of it wasn't through the Air Force.
yeah. Sounds right.
In Ohio.
Yeah, Judy,
What was that, Scott?
what's that, Matt?
Oh, I
You
didn't hear
have to
what you
talk a
said.
little louder if you can.
Hang on. I'm gonna try again. Can you guys hear me now?
That's better.
That's better.
Okay. I'm going to step right up to the mic. No, how we came into possession of it was not through the Air Force. I put together a bit of a timeline. Judy's probably pulling that out right now. But it was in active service for about 10 years. It ended up with the Iowa National Guard in Des Moines. Somehow ended up at Iowa City. For a while there, I think it was being taken care of by an ROTC program in the 60s. And then the story got more interesting from there. And it wasn't until probably the 90s that we found out that the Air Force still had ownership of it. And that's when, one thing led to another, and we started signing the lease agreement somewhere probably either in the late 90s or early 2000s. You've got it in the history there.
Yeah.
Judy, yeah.
Yeah, quite the history.
Yeah,
It's got quite the history, yeah.
you did a good job researching all that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And then
It's been disassembled probably more than once.
examples of ideas of like types of things that are potential, just art. Okay, do you want me to contact the Air Force or do you want to do that?
I'm happy if you want to do that, Judy, that'd be great.
Sure, I'll figure out how.
You work with Mike on that, yeah.
Okay, anything else on that?
No, I appreciate you reaching out, Judy. That was very helpful.
It was worth a try. We did all the work on it. Let's see, shall we go to budget art mural?
And the art mural stuff is just kind of I guess a placeholder at the moment until we get our hangar doors, but I do know at some point we'll revisit the RFQ and all of that information. So kind of one of those things. I just haven't taken it off because I don't want to forget about it and not put it back on when it's needed. So it might just be a permanent fixture for a while.
And the city said that they'll go ahead and they'll take care of all of the work for it.
Yep.
So we just have to sort of give them an estimate of the funding and dates.
Yep.
Okay. Toyota.
The next one, Toyota Iowa City. So if you recall last month, the organization came to us for a lease extension. It was a bit early. Now we know why.
Changed ownership.
Yeah, the Toyota group has sold their assets to McGrath Holdings, and they're asking for permission to transfer the lease to McGrath. From our part,
No problem, just.
yeah, I don't see any particular issues of doing it. It's one of those things where I understand sometimes business transactions can be confidential and they don't like things getting out early. But it would have been one of those things where it would have been nice to know this last month when we were dealing with the lease and could have done everything at once. But all that being said, I do recommend the Airport Commission to authorize the assignment of the property lease. McGrath has been around as far as a company goes for just as long as far as I know. So I don't have any.
Those been running the Toyota dealership.
Yeah, the dealership, as far as I know, isn't disappearing. Just changing, who owns it.
Well, I see no problem with that.
So consider the resolution authorizing assignment of property lease. Second,
Second,
okay. Roll call.
Let's go with let's go with Bishop.
Finally, I get to go first. Aye.
Claire,
aye.
Lawrence, absent. Orozco,
Aye.
full.
Aye.
Okay.
And then we do need to make the change when we're filling in the part on the bottom. So it's acting chairperson and acting
Yeah,
secretary.
we just write that. That's
So
all.
we just write that in.
Yeah.
So we've got that. Okay. Yay. Events.
So that's that. Events. Well, the autocross group will be here this weekend. So that's our kind of our kickoff of the spring, summer. I don't know. Depends on what weather Iowa wants to be for a while. But yeah, again, these are the dates for things going on. I don't have the pancake breakfast on here, but that's August 28th. We do have a conversation going about the drive-in movie, doing a third movie out here that pancake breakfast weekend. So we're just making sure we're not conflicting with each other, and because they're over there and they're going to have the pancake breakfast crew will have their food truck that's refrigerated and they'll have a motor going, and but the movie would be Saturday night. The pancake breakfast would be Sunday morning.
So it won't be a problem with cars and everything else.
Yeah, shouldn't. Yeah, as far as that goes, they're not going to overlap in terms of the times. But I don't want the prep for the pancake breakfast to be a hindrance to the movie.
It's interesting. You could turn it into an overnight fly-in, have people fly in the evening, watch the movie, camp out under their plane, have pancakes the next morning, and fly home.
It could be.
If they knew the movie was Saturday night.
I'm not sure. I don't think she said what movie they're doing. Did she?
You're too early for Top Gun too, I suppose.
Probably.
That would be perfect.
Okay, then FBO flight training report.
All right. Here's just the maintenance portion here. Really March, which now is looking back a ways. We used to do March in the beginning of, or, you know, the old month in the beginning, but something got pushed backwards. Let's see here. Not a lot. I know Mike mentioned the potential of doing some work on the front end fuel farm as one of the grant application processes. I think that'd be a good thing because that is definitely a big project for Michael staying on top of just some of the seals inside the tank or inside of those pipes and motors up front there are definitely, it's just old. It's getting aged and getting a lot of use still. So anyway, so that'd be a good project. So you always see some little maintenance stuff with that, and especially this month that isn't reflected here in April. There's been quite a bit of work on that. Other than that, we had tons of wins. So we're doing a lot of trash pickup in March, but you'll also see a lot of that here in April. If you fell in love with our popcorn machine over the last 60 years, it just got replaced. So which I was guaranteeing that it wasn't going to taste as good without all the old grease in it, but it does. It tastes,
Still okay.
we should have replaced it a long time ago. But anyway, that's pretty much it from the maintenance side, unless anybody has any questions on that. There was still some snow in March and things, but on Jenner's side, everything's just flowing along as normal. Flight training's still going good. Charter activities going well. The biggest struggle is the fuel's continuing to go up. We just got to notice today there's going to go up 37 cents a gallon on Tuesday for our aviation fuel. That's jet fuel. They don't tend to tell us too much on the 100 low until it's there, but there's been all sorts of issues. I mean, with supply and getting stuff when you need it, where you need it, and you know they'll tell us it's going to be up. Or last week they said it's going to be down, so wait. So we waited, and then they said, oh, the last minute it went up, and it went up 20 cents. Okay, fine, you know? That's exactly right. So
Okay,
we haven't decided the exact amount, but the flight training rental rates will go up probably in the next week or so, just because we haven't adjusted it since well, it's been probably over 2 years at least or more, but fuel was looking just up at what we buy it for in Cedar Rapids is up $1.67 a gallon since January per just cost, you know, before this next increase. So
with the extra, with the big planes now starting to fly a lot more, is it going to be even harder to find fuel?
I think a lot of the supply stuff is more so on the delivery, just the truck driving shortages and stuff like that. So just as long as we're able to get the word out as soon, you know, or early, we should be able to get the supply.
Okay,
But that's where it's been really nice getting the second tank in when we did, just from a supply standpoint, to be able to. And we've been trying to keep on the full side. That way we can try to stay a little bit on the front of it.
okay.
So we'll just see. Everything's that way, though. We're starting to, you know, used to just wait till you needed a part and order it. Now we're starting to look at, okay, well, how often are we replacing that part? Let's go ahead and order it now. You know, just see when it fails. You know, expensive stuff. You know, $30,000 windshield, stuff like that. So, well, we should order that now. You know, so just a different world. So
What would be the increase in the rate?
my guess is we'll probably be close to $25 an hour almost. 150, it's been 150 full time. We're probably going to be in the range of 175, which for the airplanes is considering everything we've done to them and things like that, especially lately. That's probably pretty in line. We looked at trying to do a little bit less than that, but the odds were that we were going to have to increase it. We'd rather do one increase and then.
Yeah.
And then not say in 2 weeks or a month that it's gonna go up again, but after we got this last email just yesterday with the new fuel price increase again, we went ahead to say it was probably time to go ahead and do it.
Have you set a price on the SR20 yet?
250.
Okay, so you're gonna hold it that? Okay,
We're just gonna hold that one until we build it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And since we've just now started, getting some instructors going and we're just gonna wait until we build up. So then if it works, we'll just keep it at that for a while.
yeah, okay. Good to know.
But yeah. So, but that's pretty much it on Jenner's side.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any commission members reports for anything?
Nope.
Nope. Nothing new?
We can talk about the conference. I would want to kind of step up and compliment Mike for doing an outstanding job of helping to organize the conference and really leading that, herding those cats, really. It was quite a group. But I know he put in a lot of effort and it really showed. It was a very, very well-run event. And I just want to show a lot of appreciation to Mike for that.
Thank you.
And the Iowa City Airport really got highlighted as part of it. That was really good PR for the airport and everything. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing what you can do when you set the schedule. Set the
Yeah, but you did it well today. Okay, then on to staff report.
Just dovetailing on Scott, I've got a couple of things for the conference. I mean, yeah, the conference was Iowa City centric. Fuel gave a presentation on marketing and Rantizo. I don't think we've had them here, but they're a drone company that does ag spraying with drones. They actually have a facility about 3 miles outside of town at a little test farm. They gave a presentation. Then we had Matt and Scott and I do a Q&A, although Scott kind of had the opportunity to sit and listen.
I did.
Not many questions for the board member, but I thought that went off pretty well. At the end of all of it, I have been elected vice president of the Iowa Public Airports Association.
Congratulations.
So there's that. Couple of days off coming up. I'm going to be out of the office the first week of May. And I will also have some time off around Memorial Day because I will be out of town that weekend. May is to help my sister out because she's going to have surgery. So I'm kind of being available so I can take the nephew around and not have to worry about too much else. But beyond that, I think that's all I have.
All right.
Okay, and the next meeting is May 12th. Does everybody think they're going to be here May 12th? Does anybody know they're not going to be here?
I will be available, but probably remote. Right now, it looks like I might be in Mexico that week.
Okay. I will be here. You will be here.
I should be here, yeah.
Okay.
The last update I had from Chris, he thought he would be around for the May meeting, so that shouldn't be.
Okay.
You said you want or you will?
I will. I'm coming back on 9th from a trip, so.
Be healthy.
So you don't know if you're gonna be here.
I will wear my mask on there.
Yeah. My husband says those new ones that have the double strand
straps,
pens
yeah.
are the best.
Yeah. those will be in
Yeah.
there.
Okay. In that case, anybody for adjourning? Will be adjourned?
I will be adjourned.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right.
All in favor?
All right.